Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Hope you are doing well. Today in this video I'll be discussing a very important questions that is asked in interview also, like how will you implement upload and download functionality in your project. Whichever project you work, this requirement you will always come across your project because this is very common requirement which every project has. So here I have taken an example to demonstrate like how will you implement this in your project. So the example which I have taken a book cover. So you want to upload and download this book cover, that is the requirement. So how would you implement file upload and download functionality in Spring Boot? So in this video I'll be discussing a step by step process in order to implement the given scenario. I'll be telling you how to save images in database, how to write APIs to upload the image cover, and how to download that. So everything will be seeing in detail. So watch the video till end, and if you like this video and if you have not subscribed the channel yet, please subscribe and share it with your other friends so that they also understand the concept, and this is asked many times in the interview also. So let's get started with the concept. I'll just move to my IntelliJ. So here is the code which I have already implemented so that video does not become more long. So I'll just guiding step by step process what needs to be done in order to implement file download and file upload. So let's get started with the first step is you will have to make the entity class so that you can save the file in the database. So here you can see in the video I have created a class book cover which I have made entity. You can see the annotation on top of class, and then table name I have given book covers, and then you have ID, file name, file type, and data. So since in order to store the image in database, you will have to annotate the data with @log, because these are the not text, right? So we'll be storing the image format, so we need to have a special annotation that needs to be used in order to store the image in database is @log. And then we have getter, setter, and constructor. So this is the first step which you need to do in order to save your image in the database. I'll be also talking about some improvement we can do, like whether we should store the data, whether we should store the image in database or not, or how we can store or we can improvise the image when we have a larger image size. So all those things I'll be discussing while I proceed with the video. So this was the entity class. Then we need to make a repository also in order to save the data in the database. So I have this book cover repository. Here I am missing @repository annotation, so you can add it. So this is the book cover repository annotation. So this is the book cover repository which extends JP repository and book cover, and the ID is type of long. And how this class is behaving as a repository, that you can see that it is annotated with @repository. So this class is repository. Now I will be creating two APIs, one for downloading the image and one for uploading the image. So we'll see that how can we create these two APIs. So I have here book cover controller, where you see I have written two APIs, one is for upload cover and one is for download cover. So first I'll discuss about the upload cover. So this class is a controller. You can see that the class is annotated with @rest controller. so that this class will behave as a controller. And we have a request mapping. So now let's get started with the upload cover. So upload cover is a post method which will take multipart file as a request param, and then it will save the data in database. So here you can see that it is accepting request param multipart file, and then it is calling a store file method. So let me go to store file methods. So here you see in a store file method it is accepting multipart file, and then we are getting file name, file type and data. Data is bytes. Once we get that, we have this book cover object, we are making cover, and then we are saving that. So it will save into the database. This repository, we have created the repository for the book cover class. So this, since we are using JPA, so we have a built-in method for saving. So we don't need to write anything related to database. Since we are using JPA Hibernate, it provides the built-in method for saving in the database. So it will save in the database. Now let's back to the controller, and then once it is saved, we are just returning the response entity with the message that file uploaded successfully with ID. That we will be getting this ID once the data is stored in the database. That we will see when we make API call. So this is the code for the upload cover, and if there is any issue with that, then we are also catching the exception. It will say that status 500 and file upload failed. So we are even handling the failure case if the uploading cover file is not successful. So this was all about the uploading cover in the database. We'll see whether the image is getting stored in the database or not in a while. Now let's me discuss about the downloading a file. So you can see that for downloading I have another API, and this is get mapping. So this is a get API because we will be getting the data from the database, and we will be also sending the ID like for which book cover you want to download. So we will be sending the ID so that we can go to the database and fetch the data with that particular ID, and then we should be able to download it. So this is for downloading, it is little bit trickier. So we will be I will be telling you everything like what needs to be done in order to download. It's not just that we are getting the data, but it should be a downloadable. When you make a call to this API, you should be able to download the file. So let's see, we'll be getting this ID as a path variable because you can see in the URL I have given this ID. So when we make a call from the client side, we need to send this ID as a path variable. Then I am making a call to get file method with ID. So let me go to the get file. So in the get file method, here you can see in the service we have a method find by ID. Again, this is a built-in method provided by JPA. So since I have already explained in the previous API also, we are using I am using the JPA, and JPA provides built-in method, so we don't have to write anything more in the database side of it. We are just using this built-in method find by ID, where we are passing this ID and you will get the data from the database. So now here we will be having this data from the database. Once we get that data, we are just mapping, and then we are returning this response entity. And here you need to take care like few things, then only you will be able to download. So you can see in the code I have this content type which we are passing this application octet stream. If you don't pass this content type application octet stream, you will not be able to download the file. So to make the file downloadable, you have to pass this content type. Then we are passing in header content disposition, and then attachment, and then file name, so that when you download the file should be downloaded with particular name. And then in body we are passing this file.getData, and if it is not found in the database, it will return not found. So this is the downloadable API. So right now I discussed about the two API, one for the upload cover and other for download cover. So if you have any doubt regarding these two APIs for downloading and uploading, let me know in the comment section. I'll be happy to help there. Or if you have any better way of doing this, that also you can let me know in the comment section. Now let me run this application and I'll execute the file upload and download API, and we'll see that this is working as expected or not. So let me execute this application. It will take couple of seconds to start, and here you can see that Tomcat started on 8080. And before I go to Postman and make a call to API, one more thing I would like to discuss, which is here in the properties file. So I have given two properties here. One is for max file size, one is for max request size, and the size which I have given here is 5 MB. It is configurable, so you can configure as per your requirements. For me here I have taken as a 5 MB, so if any file is more than 5 MB, my API should not allow to save in the database. It should throw an exception saying that the request file is having more than 5 MB of data. So you can configure your file size based on your requirements, and this is very important when you work on a real time project. Everybody has a different requirement, so you can restrict that file size. And there are many other checks also you can put in, like what file type you want to allow to be stored. Here I have not taken that example like file type. It was just a generic where you can upload any file type data, but I have restricted for 5 MB of data. So this was one important thing which you need to take care when you implement this functionality like upload and download file. Now let me go to Postman. So first I'll show you how to upload the data, and I'll also show you in the database whether it is getting saved or not. So before I make a call to API, let me show you database as well. So you can see in the database I have right now 3 entries. I'll execute this query again. So here right now there is a 3 entry. Now I'll make a call to upload API. Let me go back again. I'll just remove this file, and this is my URL for upload API. So how can you upload file from the Postman? You need to send this form data. Once you select this form data, you have to pass this file name, and this name has to be same as what you have given in the code. So if you see in the code, here the request param name is file, and the same name we are passing it here in the Postman also. So once you pass this file and you select the file, you can select the file from your computer or system. So here I have a image called book cover, which I'll select, and here you can see that the cover is selected. And now I'll make a call this API, and this API should save this cover image in the database. And before making a call to API, I have already shown the database. There were 3 records. So once this API is successful, the number of records should be 4. So I'll just make a call, returning file upload successfully with id 4. So this is the successful response, and status also you can see it is 200. Now let me go to the database, and before making a call to API there were 3 records. Now I made a call and here it should be a 4 record. So let me refresh the data. So here you see the 4th record is saved, which is book cover JPG. So this API is working as expected. So now let me go back to the Postman, and now I'll make a call to other API. So the other API is file download. So before I make a file download API, I will also give a demo for the another scenario where I have made a restriction of 5 MB of data, right? So let me show you that as well. So I'll just remove this file and I'll select a file which has more than 5 MB of data. So let me select that one file. So I'll just select this. Here the size of this video you can see that it is 153 MB, which is more than 5 MB. So I'll select this, and now I'll make a call to API, and you see what API is given: file too large, maximum allowed size is 5 MB. So how I have handled this restriction, that code also I can show you. Let me go to here. So we are making call to this upload cover API. It will go to store file, and here if you go to global exception handler, here you see, here I have written that exception which is getting thrown. So the exception which is getting thrown is max upload size exceeded exception. So here you see the message which is same like file too large, maximum allowed size is 5 MB. The same message is coming as a response here in a Postman when I made a call with more than 5 MB file size. So this is how I am handling the exception. So this was the another scenario in the uploading file. Now let me go to the second API for downloading. So the same file which I uploaded right now, I will download the same file. So the record which was uploaded was 4th. So I'll take the ID of this record because I need to pass the ID in the URL. As I already discussed in the code, I am passing that ID as a path variable. So the ID is 4, so I'll just take the ID and here I'll pass this ID. And here there is one more tricky to call this API. You cannot directly call with the send because I want to download the file. So if you directly make a call with the send, it will not download the file. So you need to change in the drop down. You need to make a call with the send and download. So you just take care when you make a call from the Postman that you have to change this to send and download. When you make a call, you call with send and download. So let me call with send and download, and here you see I got this. It is asking me to save, so I'll just save on the desktop. So it is getting saved. Downloaded response you can see, and you can see that. Let me go to desktop, and in desktop you can see that book cover is saved. So if you can open that, you can see this is the file which was uploaded, and the same file is downloaded also. So download API is also working as expected. So there are few more things that I wanted to discuss here. This is the very generic way of uploading an image and downloading an image, but when interviewer asks the same question, he may ask some follow-up questions like, how will you upload a file when the file have a larger size? So here you see directly I am saving the file in the database, but in real time scenario, when you have a larger file and uh, it is not recommended to store in the database, what we can do is, rather than saving the file in the database, we can save the file in some cloud, and then we can take that URL of the file where it is saved, and we can save that URL in the database, so that the database uh, size is not more, and it is easy to store and handle from the performance point of view. So that can be done when you have a more uh, file size requirement, but here I have only just taken a example for saving the book cover, which will not have the more size, it will just have some few kbs. So it is good to store in db as well. But when you have a different requirement, you can store the file in the some cloud, whichever cloud you are using, and then you can just store the URL of the file saved in the database. So that can be done. And I will be also uploading the file. I will be pushing this code to the GitHub, and I'll be giving you the GitHub link in the description of the video. So if you want to check out the code and see, you can just go to the GitHub and you can clone the code for that. So this was the complete step by step process how to upload a file and how to download a file. Still you have any confusion, you can let me know in the comment section. I'll be happy to help you. And I hope that I was able to make you understand. And if you have not subscribed my channel, please like, comment and subscribe. That gives me motivation to make video like this. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video.